Hello, good evening, afternoon. Thank you for joining early. I noted some of you were here about 10 minutes ago. Thank you for being here. We'll wait for a few, it's 3 minutes to the start that we had communicated. So we'll just allow everyone to jump in, or as many students as can join before we get started. Not everyone. Sorry, I need to adjust something. I was saying we'll wait for 3 more minutes so more students can join. Then we'll get started gradually with the agenda for today, which is the technical orientation meeting. So thank you for being here. And yeah, we'll start in a few. It's exactly at the time where we were set to start. So now is when some students will start joining. So we won't get into the agenda right away, but as we gradually start, I would like for us to just do a nice breaking activity, just a quick poll. So just keep an eye on your screen. This is not in any way attached to your academic process. The learning is yet to start. So don't worry, it's just an engaging activity. Have fun with it. Have fun with it as we go. It's just a poll asking a few questions just for me and my team to get an understanding of where each student is. And also, I put a fun question at the end there. I want to see what is everyone feeling as we get started. So feel free, it's a poll. It should pop up on your screen, just asking a very few foundational questions. Just go ahead, participate in it as we allow more students to come in. We are now at 46 participants. I expect at least maybe 60 or so. We will see. So as we wait, this is just an ice-breaking activity. Before we get right into the agenda, so if there are any nerves, relax, take a breath before we get started. And I think that applies for me too anyway. So before we get started, please take part in the poll on your screen as most students join, and then we get started in about 5 minutes, just to allow any person who might be having a tech issue or was planning to join right on the clock to come in. Okay. Thank you so much, and we'll get started as soon as this is done. And for the EBU team, kindly update your name so I can make you co-host or just know you're present for the introductions when it's time for that. Kindly have the correct name attached to your Zoom. And just informational also, the meeting is being recorded just for your own information as you're participating. The meeting is being recorded also as an informational part that you will receive these after the meeting for you to go through it. And also we are streaming to our YouTube account, which is also an informational point for you as you are present in the meeting. This is streaming to our account. Okay. Lovely. So I see students are participating in the poll. Keep answering. I'll say an icebreaking activity before we get started and give students a bit more time. So let's see here. I'm assessing programs. I have several students in the MBA, MSD certificate program is the majority here. New students, 71%. We have 28% who are returning. I think welcome to our new students. Welcome back to anyone who is coming back to do another course. Lovely to have you here. Managed to log in, 78%. Okay, perfect. Okay, the poll is still going on. I'll take a look after I have closed it so we can all, I'll share the results so we can all have a common reading point for this. Okay. We are 5 minutes in. I've had students who I've been here with for the last 15 minutes or so. So I don't want to keep those waiting. And we are at a good number of 63 participants who will get started. Yeah, just to mention, the meeting is being recorded. You'll receive a copy and also streaming on YouTube if you'd like to view there, but you can remain here on Zoom. That's perfectly okay. I had a poll running on the screen. It is not mandatory. It was just a way for us to get started and to do a bit of ice breaking. So I'll end it now that I want us to get started and get to the agenda, not use too much time here at the beginning. So I'll share the results. If you don't see them, that's okay. But they were just general questions for us to gauge who is present in today's meeting, which areas, as I go through the agenda today and my team goes through the agenda, which areas should we really focus on where maybe majority of students are stuck at and so on. So you see we have majority of the students here are in the certificate program. We have a distribution for all our programs, which is great to see. We have 71% are new students. We have 29% coming back here. Here, healthy number have been able to log in. If you're not able to log in, that's perfectly okay. That's one of the agenda points of today's meeting to help you get started, get into the platform, and have introduced yourself. 60 years, 40. We'll also go over that. This doesn't influence, just to really get started. Really, I think this could be a question already of, do I need a laptop? Do I need a phone? Am I comfortable to use either? And the answer is yes. You can access your coursework with any of these devices. It's just a question to see where do most of our students lie. So if you have a laptop, perfect. If you have a mobile phone, that's still great. And these are just added in there to see how we're feeling about the new year. See, excited, hopeful. I have about 3 who are a bit nervous. I don't know if that's about the year or the EBU term. I will be able to help with the part of the EBU term. If you're nervous about the year starting, I don't know, but good to see that everyone's excited. I think I am also excited for both the new year and the start of a new EBU term always. I love that you are here, you get to do courses with us. So yeah, good to see that. And I guess Happy New Year. Really, we are still on the 7th day of the year. So it's still within the allowed timeline to keep wishing people Happy New Year. So that was it. That was our ice-breaking activity. It is not mandatory, it wasn't tied to anything academic. So these I'll stop sharing so we can get started here. And as we go along, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, say where you are from. My team and I will be introducing ourselves shortly. I know I already started, you don't know who I am, maybe. So I'll be introducing myself, but also kindly feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. If you're comfortable to have your video on, please do so. Go ahead, have your video on so that we can interact with you also visually. Put any questions you have in the chat. We will be going through the agenda, so we'll probably answer a question you already have prior to you asking it, but you can do that. Our team will be going through the questions in the chat and assisting you. And I think those are the foundations you need to know before we get started. So as I'm already speaking, I'll introduce myself, then pass over to my team, then we get into the agenda. Okay, lovely. My name is Anne Matatu, as you can see on my display name. I'm the program director and the technology support manager at EBU. So in today's capacity, let's focus on the latter. I'm here as the technology support manager to assist with the tech meeting. I am based in Kenya. I'm a Kenyan by birth. So lovely to meet anyone who is here who is from Kenya. Please welcome on board. I've been working with EBU for 6 years now in the role of the technology support manager for the last 2 years. So I'm really excited to have yet a new group of students here, or even if you're a returning student and you have met me before in a similar session, kindly welcome back. It's always lovely to have new students joining us. So I'm looking forward to a very helpful session for you and to be able to walk you through what to anticipate in your learning journey. And before I keep going and going, I'll pass over to Samira, Saliha, and then Alan before we start. Go ahead, Samira.
Thank you, Anne. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Samira Amiri, and I'm originally based from Afghanistan. And I'm very happy to be a part of tech support team here. And I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you and thank you for joining us today. So if you face any technical issue, please do not hesitate to contact help desk through the contact form in our website. Thank you and welcome.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Saliha Parsa. I am originally based from Kabul, Afghanistan, and it's more than 2 years now that I am part of EBU Technology Department. I would like to welcome everyone to the new year and also the new term ahead. I hope you enjoy today's technical orientation meeting and the new term that we have. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. I didn't get enough time to set up a proper mic class, but I'm Alan Kebaso. I'm based in Kenya, same as Anne, and I look forward to interacting with you So I think for the non-returning, the returning students, you'd have met me for quite a bit in these sessions. Yeah, I'm Alan. I won't have my video on for this time because I'm in the busiest sort of environment, but I look forward to working with you. I fit the role of the certificate program coordinator and also part of tech support. So we'll mostly interact with you if you have any issues with your courses, any challenges. It's good to just reach out to any of the offices via the contact form. I'll pass over to Louise.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Great to see, as Anne said, so many new students this term. It's always very exciting. So welcome, everyone. I'm Louise. I work with supporting the admissions team, and I also work in partnerships, which is less connected to you, the students. And I'm really sorry. I just want to pass a quick message. I've got a student who's struggling with French. Laetitia, bonjour, j'ai bien vu vos messages. Je suis désolée, il n'y a pas de traduction en français. Ce que vous pouvez faire, c'est de me faire un email sur l'adresse admission@ebulux.lu. Et puis, j'essaie de vous faire un petit récapitulatif de tout ce qui a été dit aujourd'hui. Je suis désolée qu'on n'arrive pas à faire une traduction en direct. Thank you. Okay, and I'll pass over to the next.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Louise, to the larger team. I think we are having just the tech meeting, so we don't have the full team here. You'll meet everyone, academic dean, our admissions head on Friday. So don't worry, that's not the complete team. We just have a few more members who will meet. So I'll get into sharing my screen very, very shortly. I just want to get something ready here so that when it gets started, I am not stopping to set anything up. But for our agenda today, what you should expect is we will take you the platform that you should expect to be using for your learning. And if you are a returning student, these might be familiar for you. You already have an idea here or there, but I'll go into detail of them as much as possible. I'll go into everything again. I'll just summarize. And then we'll go over how to reset your password and how to log in. So if you are stuck right now, that will be helpful. But also in the future, this will be helpful. I'm sure if, let's say, 2 months into the learning, you are stuck, you cannot go into your platform, I want to be able to assist you with that even before you get to that point. So, and then we'll show you how to take part in a quiz during your learning. And I'll explain what a quiz is or where that comes in your learning, discussion forum, and so on. And I'll also give a quick tour of the learning platform so you have an idea. You have already been there we are on Wednesday, day 3 of orientation. So you've already been there for the last 3 days. So I want to show you, if you had a question you're wondering, I'm not sure what this button does. Hopefully I'll be able to help with that. So allow me 1 more minute. I want to set up something before I start sharing my screen. Sorry about that. Okay, perfect. I think I'm ready to go. And as I go along, put any questions you have. The whole team that introduced themselves will be in the chat answering your questions. And maybe, Louise, you can confirm if you can hear me perfectly. I saw my video freeze. I'm hoping that's not the case on your end.
No, everything's fine, Anne. It's perfect.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. So as I summarized here, I tried to summarize, I was talking you through it verbally. Here is our agenda, which I won't go through again. I've already mentioned this is what to expect. I'll be passing to my team on some of these items, but just a heads up, I might be talking the most for the next 30 or so minutes. So sorry about that, if that's a problem, really. But these are the items we expect to go through. Should take about the next 30, 40 minutes. We usually plan this for an hour. And once again, the session is being recorded. So if you feel like you have a question that I might go over maybe a bit too quickly and you want to come back to it, that will be available to you as we get started. So I'll give you an overview of the learning platforms that are expected here, so that even as I mention how to log in, your password, how to upload a profile picture, you know what I'm referring to, where are you doing these things, and so on. So I'll keep switching through my tabs here. To get started, one of the platform that you'll be using for your learning, and it is the major platform that you'll be using for your learning, is our learning platform, our Moodle learning platform. So when we say Moodle, we are referring to our learning management system. Our learning platform or Moodle platform, we call it generally EBU Connect here. And this is the URL that you already probably have access to these, or you have seen it linked in any of the emails I have sent in the course of this week that has been mentioned. So this is our learning platform URL. It is accessible on your phone, any device that you have that has a browser, you can access the learning platform there. You can also access it through a Moodle app that I'll show you how to set up. I'll take you through those steps. So different access points, and that was my reference point when I said you can take part in learning through any device. You can do, if you have a laptop or a mobile phone or any of these smart devices, these will be accessible for you. So this is just the landing page, some general updates here. Kindly go here and follow us on our social media pages. We post some relevant updates there that will be helpful for you even as you go along. So here are some links to our social media pages and so on. We also do have a website, which I want to mention. This is the learning platform, but we have a website separate to this. That's just our informational website. You want to know about more about EBU, other programs that we offer, our accreditation. Our website is ebulux.lu. So that's a bit of separation. And this is our learning platform. So the learning platform will be your 100% go-to for everything regarding your learning. So if you're doing a quiz, you have a question, you need support with a certain item, it is all available here, and I'll show you some of the areas here. The second platform that you'll be using for your learning is the Zoom app. You're already here in the Zoom. This is a Zoom meeting. So the live webinars, EBU operates on a live webinar approach. We do not do pre-recorded sessions. You don't sit and go through the learning by yourself. There'll be a one-on-one discussion. As we are doing right now, you'll have a weekly webinar with your course instructor, and that's where Zoom comes in. The live webinar, the weekly live webinar, you'll be doing it on Zoom. So it's just two platforms. Those are the basics. We won't add, there isn't a third one, fourth one, fifth one that you need to master. So you just need to know your way around the learning platform and have maybe the Zoom app installed on your phone or have it accessible on your computer, and you'll be good to go. I want to show how to log in, because now that I've introduced the platforms, I don't move too forward and leave behind a student who hasn't managed to log in. So let me go over that very quickly so that any student who might be stuck knows, okay, this is where I need to go after the meeting. You don't need to try it right now. Once again, the session is being recorded. I know that question comes up a lot in the chat as I go along and so on. So we'll see here, which I'm checking. I requested a password reset a few minutes ago. So I'll show you here how to log in. Let me switch to my student account so I can go through that a bit more detailed. Let me start from the start, actually. So you'll go to connect.ebulux.lu, which I've mentioned is our learning platform. You can go here, click join EBU/login is one point where you can log in. You can click this button to log in here, or you can log in from any entry point. So for example, you already have a course linked on your history, on your course history. You don't need to always dial back. So for example, you have this course here that's in your history. You don't always have to go back to the home page. You can just use your history. The system will prompt you to log in. So just to assume you are on the landing page, you will click here, login. And I remember there's 71% have managed to log in, but just allow me a minute or two to assist anyone else who has not been able to go into the platform yet. So we'll go in here, the system will ask you for your username or email address. You can always use your email address because that's something you already know, you already have. This is my email. You don't have any questions around that. And the email address that's registered on the platform is the email you have been receiving our orientation updates to. So that's the email that's registered there. That can be changed in the future if you do want to change that, but that's a separate discussion. And then you'll go in here and enter your password. Please set a password you can easily remember, or just save it in your browser. Nowadays, it's a bit easier. You don't have to remember all your passwords. You can have it saved in your history here. So I'll just do that, just proceed. And when you say login, I don't want to log in yet because I want to show anyone who is not able to log in at this point, what do you need to do? So allow me to log out and show you where you need to go to reset your password, which I think this becomes very relevant in the future, even for you who have been able to log in right now. Maybe a few weeks from now, you might need a password reset. So just allow me to log out again. So just to log out, if you don't have your password, please move to this point. Go as if you are logging in, click the login button as I explained already. So in this case, you might be getting your username or password wrong, and that's why you are not able to go in. It will tell you invalid login most of the times. Invalid login, please try again. If you get that maybe once or twice, maybe you just need a password reset. So at this point, you'll click this. You see here, small text, very fine text here that says forgotten your username or password. It could be either. You'll click this here. You'll go in here and it asks you to reset your password, submit your username or email address. This is the key part, or email address, because you could be getting either of them wrong. You could be submitting, rather you could be, if you submit both here, if you put information in the username and email address, you'll get an error. But I always recommend that students use the email address slot. So use this to search for password reset, because you might be getting your username wrong. Remember what I said, you are sure of your email, but you might be getting your username wrong. So use the email address slot to reset. So you'll click that, enter the email that's registered on the system so that you'll get a password reset. And when you do that, so like right now, if I say search here, just to show you the instruction, it will tell you if you supplied a correct username or unique email address, you'll receive an email that will have easy instructions to confirm and complete the password reset. I had tried to do this prior to me starting the process to make it easier, but I'm yet to get the email link. I think maybe a delay on the email delivery side. So I'll keep an eye on that. So if you experience these, please do send us an email to help you out. But this is what you should expect. You receive a password reset link to your email, and it will give you a chance to set a new password. It's very similar to any other platform, even like maybe your social media and so on. Most of the times you get a password reset link that allows you to enter a new password that you will now use going forward. So that's how you do a password reset. And once again, how to log in, I took you through that, which I'll now do because I want to go into the platform for the next part of the session. So we'll proceed to log in here. And this is where you will land when you go into your platform. It will show you the dashboard. This is what we call the dashboard here. It will show you your recently accessed courses. You'll see here. But if you don't have any recently accessed courses, it's perfectly okay that this row here could be blank. That's expected because you don't have courses that you have accessed recently. But if you have accessed your course recently, it will appear here. But if you're ready to access the course, the area that you should find your course is, you'll scroll down slightly, not too much here, and it will show you, make sure the filter here doesn't say future courses, past courses. it might miscategorize your course and therefore you're not finding it. So make sure it just says all, and then you'll be able to see your courses listed here. It might be 2 or 3, or it might be as many as I have right now on my account, but you'll be able to see your course listed here. Or you can even search for it if you have too many courses and need a specific one. This is helpful here. So that's the dashboard. The timeline here will show you upcoming activities. So once we get started on Monday, you'll have an upcoming quiz, a due date that's coming up. This will also be a very helpful area to show you. You have a quiz deadline that's coming up, and it helps you to stay up to date in your learning, in your requirements and expectations of your coursework. So that's the dashboard. You'll find yourself here multiple times during your learning. So that's how to navigate it. So if right now you're wondering, where do I find my course? I do not see it on my dashboard. It is probably just need to scroll down a bit. It is listed in this category. If you have accessed it recently, it should already be appearing here. And that also applies to our student area, which I haven't accessed recently, so I have to scroll sideways, but I'll do that because I want to take you through a few items on the student area before we continue. So let me check here. I think, Alan, are you in a position to go through the how to upload profile pictures and update your names?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll pass over to you so you can take us through that. Then I'll resume in the next part. Thank you.
Okay. I hope you're seeing my screen. So maybe somebody please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen. You can go ahead.
Okay, so once you're on your dashboard area, or generally any place in a course, you're able to see your top navigation bar here. At the very left of this here, for me, you see I already have my profile picture in place, but basically you're gonna have this icon. So what you'll need to do to either update your profile picture or edit your names is you're gonna hover over this icon over here. It's gonna be an unidentified person blip when you don't have a personal image there, but it's always gonna be at the top right corner. So click on that and you have this nice little menu here. It might differ for you. I'm using this on my account, which has different sets of permissions, but you will be able to interact with either your dashboard, your profile, grades, calendar, even the reports that you've had over the course of your learning at EBU. So that's mostly for people with multiple courses with us. And now to edit your image, you'll move to your profile page. Your profile page should appear something like this. So at the top right here, I have my name. This is how my name is listed on the platform. This is my email address as on the platform. Then other details that should have been asked when you're signing up or when you're creating an account on the platform. If either of these details is wrong, any of them, not necessarily your image or your name, then what you need to do is you need to edit your user profile. So if you hover over here, you'll see this edit profile appears as a link. So let me click that real quick. And then takes you to this page. So on this page, you can choose to do multiple things. You can change your username. You can change your email address. This applies if maybe down the line, people change emails because A, maybe your Gmail is full. B, it was a work email you'd signed up with initially. Maybe you're not working for the same people anymore. So that email has been deregistered. So now you have to update your email address to continue accessing the platform and receiving all platform messages. Then you can change your first name and your last name. So, for example, let's say you take on a spouse, your official names have changed. This is where you'd need to change that. So let me start by here. By the first name and last name, we don't necessarily limit you to having 2 names. If you have like 3 or 4 or 5, you can enter any number of names in the profile fields. So in the first name, you can decide maybe I'll start with my first 3. So in my case, Mwange Alan. Mwange Alan. Then Kebaso becomes my last name. If I was to add on, maybe let's say my grandfather's name, I'd add the last one, something of the sort. So that encompasses all my names. And officially for consistency, this especially applies in jurisdictions where they do need your certificates to hold your official names. So please make sure you have that. This is what is going to be used when you're receiving your certificate, your names as registered by us on the platform. Then if you do want to change your profile pic, you'll scroll down to the next section. It's here under user picture. This might appear like this at first. So just click on it. And here under the drop down, you can select your picture. For now, I already have one selected. So let me just delete that. So, okay. So if I've deleted that and I move to server files, you need to move to upload a file if you've already never uploaded a file before. You can even drag and drop because it will give you that option. Mine comes as a bit different because I already had an image there. Then here, move to choose file. I think I have photos of me somewhere. Let's see. So yeah, select a file, then click on upload. I think now that that's updated, when I move, let me update my profile. You can see the image has been updated here. If you are to delete and update the profile, it will remove the image. Same thing again. So just to reiterate, your username can also be found on this page. For example, if you don't know your username, it's here. You can select a simple username that you can remember just to ease your logging in. You can edit your first name and your last name, and you can change your email address and also upload your profile picture under the user picture section. I think that's it for that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. And yeah, as Alan highlighted, the name fields are very important so that your certificate shows the same names that you have on your learning platform. And these should not be submitted via email. You don't send us an email to say my official names are this and that. You should make sure that that's updated on the learning platform, as Alan has shown you how to do that. And at the end of the meeting, one will share the recording and also show another reference point where you can find all these steps that we are taking you through. You'll have a reference point form after the meeting in case you have a question or you feel like there's something you might have missed. You can always come back to it. So before I go to the next agenda items, which really talk about very course-specific items, I'll give you a brief tour of our student area, which I will answer some of the questions I'm already seeing on the chat. And also I'll give you a brief tour of one of our courses. I'll just pick a course at random, which doesn't have to be running, but I'll show you a brief tour. What does each week entail in your learning? And then as we go through the next steps and tell you, this is how you do a quiz, you already know what I'm referring to. Yeah, I saw a question that came in about where to access your courses, and I highlighted these prior to Alan starting, but I'll go over it again because I still have these tab open. As I said, you'll go to your dashboard, and what I already have open here is my dashboard. You should have your courses under recently accessed courses if you have accessed them recently, as the name implies. But if you have not accessed your course yet, maybe it's a new course, you have just been enrolled at the start of this week, You'll just scroll down slightly. Under here, course overview, you'll go to all, make sure it says all courses, and you'll be able to see all your courses here. You'll go to see the courses that you're enrolled here. You click on it, it will open your course. There's also another point you can access your courses on the sidebar here, but I don't usually find it I don't find it to be more accessible than the dashboard, but I'll mention it. When you go here, my courses, it will list all the courses you are enrolled in, and you're able to go into the platform. And also, once you get started learning, your course will appear on your Google history so much, you probably won't come back to your dashboard for a while, but that's how to get access to the course in the first place. So I'll show you here a tour of the student area, and I'll use my student account so I can show you the same view you should have. Although I think this will be limited given my access, but let's see. So this is the student area which everyone already has access to. If you have been receiving our emails this week, you already have access to the student area because it's the platform we use to send out academic announcements, community announcements, and it's also the platform we use for our students to interact with each other, but also to have a space where all our EBU learners can come to access administration points. Maybe you want to know what are the student guidelines, what is this, where do I find these, as listed here anyway. All these things are available on the student area. So this is our team, some of them who are already here in this meeting, some you'll meet on Friday during our next meeting. Here are the academic announcements. I'd like to just clarify a difference between both. These are our mandatory announcements where we tell you exams are coming up. You have orientation week. This is where you need to go in. Community updates. This is where we come in to inform you of upcoming events, guest lectures, just items that supplement and complement your learning. We place them here, but academic announcements, everything that's completely tied to your coursework will go in here. So if you are wondering what happened on day one of orientation week, please open these. You'll see here, it should show, sorry, here, this is on my access point. It is, if I go here to all term 2 students, you'll be able to see all the announcements that have gone out during the orientation week that maybe you want to catch up on. So that's where you go in the student area. So community updates. And then these are highlighted very boldly, important documents. Here is the welcome package. Here are the student guidelines, which are very relevant because when you write to us, you need this and that. We will, most of the times we'll reference you to our student guidelines. And it is very important that you are informed on these. We don't want you to approach any of our academic guidelines with the statement of I did not know. That is not allowed. That's not acceptable because we have provided these guidelines for you to be informed on. So here are the student guidelines. These are for the certificate program and this is for the degree program students, just to highlight why there are 2 copies. They're just slightly different guidelines for these programs as you would expect. There are different programs, there are different operating guidelines here. Here, as I scroll here, I don't go through everything, I just highlight any key thing. You can leave here feedback for us, which we really value. Our Trustpilot link is linked here. So kindly give us feedback. At the end of orientation week, I would like to hear your feedback on how did you find this session, please, always so that we can improve and so we can encourage other students to take part. Here is a technology handbook, which I will be highlighting. As I said, this is accessible to you if you didn't understand any item that has been covered up to this point. It is available for you in written format here. And then as I scroll here, just very quickly, now here, this is where the webinar schedules come in. This is already updated for the term 2, which is where we are right now. We are in a term 2 academic year 2025-2026 term. So this is already the schedule for this class. Just look out for your course. It is not applicable. You don't need to attend all these classes. Only the class that you're enrolled in is relevant to you. And this also doesn't have to be your only reference point, and I'll show you why. You can find the time for your class inside your course if you are confused, you're not sure. So this doesn't always have to be your reference point, but here is the general schedule for all the courses that you are in. For our degree program and for our certificate program. So here is a schedule, some textbooks for the relevant courses and so on, orientation week. So you get the idea up to this point. The student area is a support resource for you. It's where you go and you have a question, you're wondering, what are the guidelines? Who do I need to contact for this and that? This is where you come to. Even technical resources, as you scroll here, you'll see how to update your profile picture. This is detailed here. So everything I'm already addressing here will be in the student area. And after we are done with today's technical orientation meeting, we'll now update this from our last semester. Now we'll put in the recordings for today here. So you can always come back here. So you get the point. Student area is everything you'll need. You have a question, it is possibly already answered here and so on. So that's what the student area does for you. I'll now show a tour of the course here. A tour of the course just to show you what a course looks like before I go back to the technical aspects of how to do A, B, C, or D, and so on. I'll maybe let me use one of our courses that's running this semester just to make sure that I am covering the most recent updates that we may have on there. I'll pick business management, which is the very first course listed here. This is just for certificate students, really, but all our courses follow the same module here. Going here, this is how a course looks like. You'll have a picture of your instructor here that should be up to date and a LinkedIn to their LinkedIn profile. So you can connect with them. That's perfectly okay. That's allowed. You can send them a request on their LinkedIn. Scroll here, instructor announcements is where the instructor will communicate with you. So if you feel like you missed an announcement from your instructor, it will be available here, but it's also broadcasted to your email. So similar to how you have been receiving the orientation week announcements, you'll also receive the instructor's announcement. Student cafeteria is for your own use. So you can ask questions to your instructor or with each other. You can introduce yourself. And I would actually recommend that go in here, introduce yourself. This will be an introduction to your classmates, not just to everyone, to be to your fellow students here. And some academic documents tied to your course. So the syllabus outline, some guidelines as you participate in the coursework. And then these I'll highlight a bit more here. This is the webinar link. So similar to how to join today's class, today's orientation meeting, to join today's session, you need a Zoom link. To join your weekly webinars, the live webinars with the instructors, you'll need a webinar link. And this is provided in your course here in this area. It is below your instructor picture. We call this the course information section because it puts together the general items tied to the course. So for example, the webinar link that you'll use every week, it is available here. You can go in here, click it, it will take you to Zoom as you're already here, so you're already familiar with Zoom, but this is where you find it. So you click here or here. And as I was saying, the student here doesn't have to be only reference point on when your class is, because that's then again repeated here. So you'll see every Zoom link here says 4 p.m. Luxembourg. This is CET time zone, which is the time zone in Luxembourg. Kindly make sure you convert it correctly. You made it to this meeting on time, so I hope that means you have an idea of what the Luxembourg time means for you, depending on your time zone. And every week on Tuesdays, every week on Thursdays, you'll have a weekly webinar, one weekly webinar. Your instructor might request a reschedule because maybe they're not feeling well or there is an emergency, but very rarely. So just expect your classes should be on Tuesdays on the date that has been communicated here or placed here, unless otherwise notified by the instructor. That's it. And then learner support material takes you back to the student area. And then to highlight this important, so we have seen students severally ask, is there a WhatsApp group? Is there a WhatsApp group for my course? So what we have done these semesters, we have set up WhatsApp groups for each course. So you should go to your course, you should have a WhatsApp group link. When you click here, it will put you into an already set up WhatsApp group. You'll join there. You'll have access to your fellow students. You can ask each other maybe those quick questions of that you don't send an email for all that, or you don't come to the platform, just a quick question regarding the course. And it also allows for community building and the diversity. One thing we bring to our students is the diversity of students. We have students in Kenya, we have students in Nigeria, we have students in Luxembourg. This gives you an opportunity to meet and community build with these students. So you can join the WhatsApp group now. Right away, you can start joining the groups after the meeting. However, please note that the WhatsApp groups don't substitute as a support platform. Do not post a question that's meant to be addressed to the EBU support team with an anticipate a response from that. You'll contact us via emails. I'll explain how you need to reach us, but do not place a question in the WhatsApp group and then anticipate an EBU support member to answer the question there. It does not come in as a support platform, it's a community building. Sometimes the EBU staff or team might send a relevant update to these groups. Maybe there's a system update that needs to be done, and the WhatsApp offers a really quick way to notify you of these. We will utilize the WhatsApp group for that. But if you need support on something, maybe you have a specific request you want to make to the EBU tech support team, do not put it on the WhatsApp group only. You can always ask your fellow students. They probably already have an answer for you. But if you need the input of us as a team, please reach us out to us on email. So that's the course information section. Most of your questions will already be answered in this area. So please go through this section in your course. This is the same thing in all courses. It's not just for business management. And also we'll move here quickly. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the clock, so we are not here too long after when we had scheduled. So this is what a 1 week looks like in our course. You'll go in here, this is week 1. You'll only have access to 1 week at a time. We won't give you access to everything. You won't have access to the whole 13 weeks. That would be overwhelming and a bit confusing. You'll get access to 1 week at a time. So as of Monday, here 12th to 18th January, you'll only get access to week 1. And then after that, we'll go to week 2. So at that point, you'll have access to week 1 and week 2. And then after that, you'll have access to week 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. It's all very structural. You move from 1 week to another. So in a week, it looks like this. You'll have the introduction point of what the week is about, the resources. And one thing I usually say about the learning platform is we have tried to make everything as guiding as possible. So if you're looking for the overview of the week, there's a button that says overview. If you're wondering where the resources, there's a button that says resources, and so on. As you scroll here, the forum, here it is. The assessments, here they are. And then the webinar link, this will be the recording of your class. So I'll mention the quiz. You'll have a weekly quiz. Not all courses will have a practice test, and that's, so don't worry about this if you do not find it in your course, but there'll be a weekly quiz for most of the weeks. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks, the instructor might choose to assess you in another way instead of a weekly quiz, but there'll be a weekly quiz and there'll be a forum. These are mandatory items that, because as you do your learning, you have to be assessed. There's no way around that. So that's how 1 week looks like. And even as I close this and we look at week 2, you'll see the same structure repeats. You'll go from overview to resources, and resources range from learning articles or videos that the instructor feels will support the topic at hand. So that's what a week looks like. Forum, assessments, the webinar recording will be put here after your class. Again, week 3, same thing. And I always like showing at least 3 weeks, because then you get the idea of, once I get my hand on and I get a schedule going in week 1 and week 2, then that repeats every other week. You just maintain a certain pattern that is not very, it won't be disrupted by much. So that's the expectation. I'll go over how to do a forum, then pass to Alan to go over how to complete a quiz. So Alan, you can prepare that on your side before we get to that, if that's okay.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so a forum is, I'll show you within the course context, but I'll demonstrate on our student area so I can tie them together. Remember, I asked the question of, have you had a chance to introduce yourself during the orientation week? I'll explain how that ties to what I'm about to demonstrate here. So this is what a forum will look like. This icon here, it's a discussion point, and the idea behind it is a collaborative learning aspect. And also, once again, to give you an interaction point where you get to discuss with your students, you are conversing with each other, exchanging ideas, which is how the best learning that happens when you're having discussions with people. Or even if you think about most opinions you have of life and so on, they are built upon depending on what other people experience and what other people think about the same thing. So a forum looks like this, and it's a point where you will answer a question from the list of questions provided here. As you see, it will say start one discussion and reply to 2 of your students to complete the forum. So what that usually takes is you'll come in here, add a discussion topic, answer any of these questions, and then reply to at least 2 of your classmates. And what that does, that gives you an interaction point. Or you can disagree. That's always encouraged in any learning platform. 5 people can't have the same opinion. Someone will have something different to add to the conversation. And that's what we want to see. So don't feel the pressure to go in and say, I won't answer to this because I disagree with the student. Please answer, exchange any ideas that you want to exchange with each other. So yeah, that's what a forum looks like. I want to demonstrate it through the student area so that I can also tie together the introduction aspect here. We're to the student area. So one of the items we have been mentioning severally as we have been sending the orientation week materials is to say, introduce yourself in the introduction area, say hi to your classmates and so on. So the introduction point is, let's scroll here as it loads, so save some time, is under the student orientation section here. As you'll see here, it takes you through a brief welcome message from our academic dean here, and the orientation activities that you should expect. But most importantly, again, you remember the icon of the forum I was showing in the course. Here it is. So we're using a student discussion forum for our students to introduce themselves, to say, my name is, and so on. So I'll open this so we can take a look, and maybe I can demonstrate very quickly how to post in a forum. So I already see several students who are here have already introduced themselves. See here, a lot of discussions, please go through them. It's usually very valuable and so on. Wish each other Happy New Year. We still have that as a very simple ice-breaking point. You don't have to say much at this point. You can just say Happy New Year, everyone. Looking forward to meet you. So you go in here, you feel free to read as many as you can or as possible in the time that you'll have. You'll go in here. We have some guiding points that we have provided. You can share location, education, interest in personal detail, favorite website as a guiding point, but you can share anything really. You can introduce yourself as you wish. And to do that, you'll go in here and say add a discussion topic. Think of it as an email. You're writing an email, so you need a subject here, and then the message, I will try to make it brief. I already introduced myself somewhere among all those that I was scrolling, but I'll just post again here just to make it very summarized demonstration. So please make it more detailed. I don't want to write too detailed here. Say your name, I'm based in Kenya and so on. Lovely to meet everyone. And then what you'll do, you'll say post to forum. After you put message subject, post to forum. As quickly as that, I always avoid to use the word easy during these meetings, but it is that's very direct. You add a discussion topic, put in your message, and then you are able to proceed after there. And I already see, like I saw Grace in the meeting when I was starting, I already see she has an introduction point. So Grace, if you don't mind, I'll use yours to demonstrate how to reply to fellow students. And yeah, I love this quote. I think I shared the same quote during my introduction. So I love this. So that's what I would say in my reply. For example, I've already opened this, I'm reading it, and I already have an idea of what I want to say. So when you open a student's introduction or forum, you'll just click reply button here and to say, maybe I want to demonstrate this so you have a whole idea. And I'll make it very brief, just time. As you can see, it's already getting dark on my side. You're not seeing as clearly as before. So I'll make it brief right now, and then you can come back to it and add. So you put a reply as they say, submit, and that's it. You have done it. You have added a discussion topic and you have replied to a student. So that's the same thing you'll be doing when you get started on Monday. Think about that process when you come into your course forum and you're thinking, how do I approach this? You'll add a discussion topic, answer maybe question number 9. You pick one question to answer. You don't have to answer all these questions. And then when your fellow students also answer their own questions, you'll go to their submissions or to their answers and click reply so that you can engage with their input and you can share ideas and so on. So that's it. That's how to do a forum. Alan, if you're ready, I'll pass to you for the quiz. Today time has moved really quickly, but please take your time because I know the quiz is usually very important. So when you're ready, let me know.
Okay.
I'll pass over the screen sharing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay,
Let
go
me go over that real quick. Okay, so again, I think we've already gone over the weekly setup, so I'll just skip really quick. So this is a week view on my course page, and where the quiz usually appears is under the assessments banner. So under each assessments banner, you'll find your weekly quiz there. So these weekly quizzes are timed, so they aren't opened indefinitely. And most times you'll be able to see the date when the quiz is opened and the date when it closes. So it's within your best interest to do this during the time that the quiz is set to be open. Normally, we do not accept any exceptions for missed quizzes and assessments. So these weekly assessments contribute to your overall grade in the course. So please note that no exceptions are usually made. So just time yourself. You'll also have a notification on the Moodle app, as Anne said, on your dashboard on which items or activities are due on which dates, and it will notify you approaching that date. But just please also just be socially aware. Just try and log into the course. Sometimes you are present during the Zoom, and then you come back and you feel like, oh, maybe let me not get into the course, and maybe the timeline is already set. So what you need to do in that instance is just check your course page. It will be outlined here. So you can see this was Monday, 24th November, and this closed on Thursday, 31st December. So I'd already opened in preparation of this, but same process. You'll just click it from here and it will take you to this page. So this page here just tells you, again, the open and close dates of the quiz, the attempts you have, the time limit for the quiz. Yeah, and if you have multiple attempts, it will give you a grading on the higher grade. So the higher grade you got is the one that will be used for the grading. But most times also this is set to one attempt. So also don't do it thinking you have an extra attempt to go. But yeah, so let me start my attempt. So again, here you have the quiz. This is a page by page view. So it's gonna be a multiple choice question and you just select. You have your time over here. This timer counts down the amount of time you've been given up until the close of the quiz. It might also differ if you're doing it close to the deadline of the quiz. So if the quiz deadline takes precedence. So for example, if I was doing this attempt and the quiz deadline was set to be at somewhere around, let's say right now, let me say around 6 p.m. 5 p.m. CET. So that would automatically cut me out and then I'd be scored on what I've gotten up until that point. So again, don't cut it too close to deadlines. So let me just do a few random attempts. I don't think I'll do the entire thing. And I'll also skip Then also something to note, how I'm doing these questions here on my quiz navigation bar. I think my screen is a bit, this is usually closed at the start, but you can open it to view the number of questions in the quiz. So for example, here I've already answered 1 and 3, but I somehow skipped over 2. It will tell you these are the questions you missed. So you can click and go back to that question. But again, this only applies for your weekly quizzes. The assessment is set differently for both midterm and end-term exams. For the midterm exams, you won't have this free navigation over here where you can skip to any question. For the midterm and end term, once you do number 1, you go to number 2. If you skip number 1, you can't go back to number 1. So again, it's just good to be keen on instructions. So in this case, I have a free navigation, so I'm able to go back to questions I missed. Let me add maybe 2 more. Sorry. Okay, I think those are sufficient. Skip over the last one. So, okay, so here I'm at the last question. I've answered that. Assume I've answered everything. I've interacted with every question. I can finish my attempt. So again, you get a summary of your attempt. So again, on this page, you can be keen just to see which questions did I not answer. So for example, it will be marked here as not yet answered. So again, if you still have time, you can go back, answer the same question, then come back and submit your attempt. So let me submit this and finish. Again, questions without responses. This is very redundant. It will just tell you as many times as possible. Okay, so that's that. Sometimes you'll find that the quiz is set in such a way that you're able to view the questions you got wrong. You can also take this up with your course instructor if you need this for revision, or at times when you need to review this, and this will help you. So if you don't get this, you can raise it up with your course instructor and the settings will be adjusted, or even write to help desk. But here I see I got question 1 correct. I failed question 2. I got this one correct. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it correct. Oh no, I did. Yeah, I'm a very good guesser. But yeah, that's sort of the gist. And this is gonna be the general outlook for certificate courses and all quizzes. In case there's any differences, just reach out. Something I forgot to mention, if a question generally doesn't have the right answer, you can choose to flag the question. So you'll see that attempt in the middle of the attempt. So there's this flag question here. So this will let the person grading or assessing that see that this question had a problem, and maybe it can be excluded if it is deemed to have a problem. Also, there are different types of assessment like this one and maybe an assignment submission point, but generally the workaround is the same. You'd open it. If you are to submit, it will direct you to submit a file. If you are to answer a quiz, it will tell you to answer the quiz. So let me take it back to Anne.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alan. That was really, really well presented. So I think I might have spent a bit much time on the ice-breaking activity, all pros and cons. So I'm saying our time has run over, but I think we'll use maybe 5 to 10 more minutes to finalize. As you remember our agenda here, I don't have much items done, but I'll take you how to set up your Moodle app, which is usually very helpful to as you do your learning. So I'll see here if I can, usually because I'm presenting on my laptop, I can't do a complete guide with a complete guide with here with my phone rather. So here are just the general steps. So it's a Moodle app. You use it on your mobile phone, on anything that supports an app. On your laptop, I know there is a Moodle app for your computer. You can install the Moodle software, but I don't recommend it. Use the browser. It's a very new product, but the Moodle app works for, there are some areas where maybe when you're doing, for example, an exam that's very strictly timed and needs to sync a lot with the server, use the browser. But the Moodle app is really very helpful, especially to get notifications of announcements, to be notified of upcoming meetings and so on. So here's how you do it. You'll install the Moodle app from your App Store, your Google Play Store, whatever store you use for your apps, go there. The Moodle app has this orange icon with a cape, do that. Let me use the next slide. Usually it has a bit of the exact screenshots you'll see. So this looks like this, the Moodle app. Install it, no need to go over that again. If prompted to select if you're a learner or educator, of course, select a learner. And then on the next step, when asked which is your learning site, here, when asked connect to Moodle, enter your site. You'll enter the URL that I mentioned when we were starting, when I was guiding you, what is our learning platform? Here it is. You'll enter the connect.tbulaks.lu. It should prompt you here to say connect to your site. It will then ask you to log in, username, password, log in, and then it will give you the exact view. I've been mentioning the dashboard, what to expect, what that looks like. It will give you a similar view. So here, I know that was a bit quick, but the tech handbook has these steps guided. So in case you want to go over it again, but it is you install it and then the rest follows. I know the question that most students usually have and is expected definitely is the question of what is my site? What should I fill as my site? And this is what is your site. Connect.tbulaks.lu. That's what you should put in. So I'll continue. We are coming to the end. We have already covered these and so on. I'll mention a bit of Zoom etiquette as you are in your classes. Mute your microphone if you're not speaking. We do encourage students to ask questions, to answer the instructor questions, especially always answer the instructor's questions. I think it creates for a very engaging environment with your instructor. It is also very motivating for everyone involved in the classroom and creates even a better learning environment when everyone is engaging, answering questions. That's completely encouraged. But if you're not speaking, always make sure your microphone is muted. And you could be in a quiet environment, but something could happen. Someone could pass by, there is a car somewhere. So only to not disrupt the class, that's important. Have your video on if you can. And Zoom allows for very lovely background. So if you don't want your background visible in the meeting, please utilize one. Have a background of the beach somewhere or some fancy meeting room. So you do have those options if that's something you want. Post questions in the chat as the meeting goes along, or raise your hand. You can use the Zoom reactions. Usually raise your hand, maybe react, you can clap, and so on to allow nonverbal reactions or communication with the instructor. And most importantly, keep time so that when the instructor starts, you are there. And we have seen students say, no, 1 hour, 30 minutes is not enough. So the earlier you join, the earlier the instructor can kick off. So always join, I would say 5 minutes early so that when the instructor is there, you start right on time. So those are just general Zoom guidelines. For the time zone, let me show you something really quick. In every course, I think I might have skipped over it. I don't remember mentioning, but in every course, there is a clock we have placed that should be visible. The webinar schedules here look like this. This I found helps a better translation and easier translation of your time zone. For example, I'm in Kenya, so you'll see here my time zone here is 7 p.m. And that helps me guide. So if the time in Luxembourg is 5 p.m., then that means there is a 2-hour gap. So to convert time zone, I recommend this is more helpful. It will be available in all your courses under the instructor picture. You don't need to look for it in the student area, but that's usually helpful. Or you can always do a Google search of Luxembourg time versus my time. You can even put the exact country so you do not miss your classes. The time zone right now, it varies on different students. So be very specific on any particular time zone. I don't want to mislead anyone on this. And as we come to an end here, just to highlight a few items, as you're sending us an email, I know following this meeting, you already have seen the team putting in our support desk. If you have a question, please include your name or your email. Your email should have your name already. So maybe that's not the most important point, but a more even relevant item is your course name or course code. So when you say, I cannot access my week 3 quiz, if there is no mention of course, we usually now need a level of going to the platform, checking which course you're in. We just elongate the process. But if you mention, I'm in business management, I cannot access my quiz, there's already a more direct troubleshooting process. We can already skip to the part of the troubleshooting. And so it just makes the process easy. Our response time to support emails is within a 24-hour period. You should have received a response or an acknowledgement of your email. So maybe you're having an issue that we need a bit of time to look into, we will always send you an acknowledgement to say your email is well received, allow us some time to get back to you, or if it's an issue that is resolved right away, the response within 24 hours will help you be able to move forward. And use the contact form to reach out to us, and that is available here. When you go here on the dashboard and says contact us, you click that, it takes you to a contact form. Let it open. That allows you to select. Please read through this for the respective desks that you need to contact, and then you'll select the office here. So for example, for the tech help desk, if you have a technical issue, you'll click here, tech help desk, type your subject, your message. You can submit an attachment if you have a screenshot or a file that you'd like us to consider as we review your email. So this is how to contact us. It's also available here on the drop down here. So that's how you access us. Again, to highlight also, as you come into the WhatsApp groups, kindly observe netiquette. Just because the WhatsApp group is an external item, and I'll repeat this on the Friday meeting, but just because the WhatsApp groups are an external item to the learning platform, it does not exempt you from the netiquette policy. And the netiquette is just professional, and not even just professional, decent communication with each other. Do not be rude, do not throw words at each other just because it's a WhatsApp platform, which is something we have observed before happen. So I think I'm coming to an end of my presentation here. As let's go back to our agenda together and take a look if we might have missed something. Time zone. Yes, we are good. We are done. So unless Saliha, Samira, anyone, if there's a question in the chat, I should verbally answer before we conclude. But that is our presentation for today. Yeah, go ahead, Saliha.
Answered most of the questions, and I have shared also the help desk email address, so they can reach out us through help desk.
Lovely. So I think then that's it for our presentation today. We get started on Monday, just to summarize some items that will be helpful. Let me show you the academic calendar as I talk about it. I always like to present or where to find the tech handbook or how it looks like. I had forgotten that part. But we start on Monday, the 12th. You don't necessarily have to attend a live class on that day. So let's say your webinar is scheduled on Wednesdays. That means your first class will be on Wednesday, but you'll have access to week 1 of your course on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you have to go into the Zoom, do the class, and so on. But it doesn't mean on Monday everyone will have a Zoom session. But if your class is on Monday, then kindly be prepared to attend the live class on Monday here. So I'll scroll here and show you where to access the tech handbook. Actually, I prefer another access point. I think my internet might be slowing down. I'll go here. As that opens, I'll show you the academic calendar and what to expect me to also prepare. We'll mention this on Friday, but since you're already here, we are here. As you can see, the orientation week. And now what you should expect is we'll be going through week 1 up to week 13, which goes up to the 6th of April to the 12th of April, which is usually our final exam week here as we conclude. And then somewhere in the middle, between week 5 to 7, you'll have a midterm exam. But all that is academic and something that we'll repeat on Friday's meeting. And that brings me to the mention that we have the academic meeting on Friday, the student orientation meeting, the larger one where you'll meet our academic team. It's on Friday at 4 p.m. CET. So kindly make sure to attend that. That will be more academic focused. This was very technical and showing you how to. So that meeting will also guide you on other steps of it. And this is where you'll find the tech handbook on the homepage. I like this access point because if you can't log into the platform, you are stuck on the homepage, then the tech handbook helps in that case. You can just go to this PDF file here. And everything that Alan and myself have been mentioning back and forth is highlighted here in the tech handbook. So if you prefer to go through written steps, so you're logging into your account, it shows you what you need to do with screenshots and so on. So if you have any questions or you feel something I've gone over was too quick, the tech handbook is available to you, and this recording will be provided. And even more important, our team will be available throughout your learning to continuously support you. So I think that's it for our meeting today. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, and we'll see you on the Friday meeting. And even more importantly, we'll see you on Monday as you kick off your learning. Okay, lovely. Take care. Bye-bye. And thank you so much to the team for your support, for being present, and for the support in the chat and all that. So thank you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for everything, Anne.
Bye.